Hey, everybody. Today we're going to talk about regret of not doing anything, FOMO, fear of missing out, all of that fun stuff. Most regret in real estate doesn't come from price, it comes from decisions that are made under pressure. So, we're going to talk about how to avoid that. And typically, all of this stuff revolves down to just three moments. There are three moments during a real estate transaction that, if you're not careful, you're going to come to regret them. There are three main moments that happen during a real estate transaction that, if you do the wrong thing, if you make the wrong step, it could lead to possibly years. So most people are not regretting their decisions, but there are a sizable sum of them, SUM, of them that are regretting their decisions. And it typically comes from three places. All right. Regret number one, rushing without clarity, waiting until the last minute. They're waiting until the last minute. Oh, I need to save another $2,000. I need to do this. I need to do that. Maybe they're rushing because of competition, or they're rushing because of some external event. They have the fear of missing the market. Okay. They're second guessing themselves. They're moving too fast. They're moving blind. They're buying from overseas. There's a million different ways that you can rush and do things the wrong way. Okay. So regret number one is rushing without clarity. You've got to have some clarity. I've rushed with some people before. We've had some people that have been in a rush and we've done it, but we slow it down and we do it right. I had this guy call me the oty day and he was like, "Hey, I want to go see some homes." I'm like, "Hey, let's meet in my office and let's go over some things." "Well, I don't have time for that." You got time to go look at houses? It's the same time. Spend some time planning. This is the most, guess what? He still doesn't own a house. And this has been forever now. So, you got to have your priorities. All right. Regret number two, listening to too many voices, not listening to other people. That's okay. But listening to too many voices, family, friends, coworkers, social media. All these outside opinions can create confusion. You've got to look at these resources. I always ask people when we meet, how, how many people know that you're buying? And they stop and think about that for a minute. And they're like, they'll name them off. And I'm like, you're going to be getting information and advice from all of these people. Crazy Uncle, Ned, know-it-all Nick, this, that, the other, all these different people who are going to be trying to give you advice. You got to weigh that advice very carefully. Not all of that advice applies to you. Not all of that advice is current for the current decade. Some of it might be. Bring it to us. Let's talk about it together, an honest discussion and everything. Also, loud opinions. Loud opinions typically come from our parents. I have to say that quietly because I got kids that are in the house right now, home from college, stuff like that. They're like, "Yeah, when you say stuff, blah, blah, blah." Like, you got to watch out for the loud opinions. They're not necessarily better. And then the danger of crowd-sourced decisions, going by what ChatGPT says, or this or that, or, you take a poll, which house looks better. That's not always the way to go. So regret number two, listening to too many voices. This can be very detrimental to you. All right. Focusing on price. This one is going to take a while to talk about. Focusing on price, not fit. A lot of times people, they obsess over the price. If you're buying a house that's $250,000, I should stop saying that. Nobody's doing that anymore. $300,000. If you're buying a house that's $300,000 and your lender says the payment is $1,900 a month, if you're buying a house that's $290,000, your payment's going to be about $60 less. $60 less. You gotta be honest with yourself. $60 more or less in the grand scheme of things, if you can afford it, is not going to break the bank. It's not going to change the way you have to live your lifestyle or anything like that. What you need is a budget. What you need is steady, solid income. What you don't need is to obsess over every nickel and dime. Okay. You need to set yourself a limit. I can buy a house that's under $2,000 a month and then just stay under that. That's what you do. We're not going to obsess so much over getting a deal. What's more important to you, getting the house you want or getting the best deal on that? And in most cases, it should be getting the house. Okay. Sellers are obsessing over getting the highest number. The highest number bid is not always the best deal. We sold our house a couple of years back, 2022, let's say 2023, something like that, 22, 23. And we got an offer that was like in the sky, and we didn't go with that offer. It didn't have an appraisal gap. It didn't have any guarantees. It was never going to appraise for that. We went with the more sure thing. It closed on time. We got what we wanted. Were there a couple of hiccups along the way? Yes, there always are, but we got what we wanted and we were very happy with it. Okay. Going back to the buyers for a second, fit, terms, comfort, all of these things matter. We need to sit down and go over what it is that are your must-haves, what is it that you'd like to have, and really dig deep into those things. When we set up the search on the MLS, search is getting a lot better. There are some programs like now, like homes.com and stuff, where you can put in AI like terms, like I'd like a view of the ocean. Problem is, there's still a lot of things wrong with that. It's not perfect. As you know, AI, anybody who's ever talked with ChatGPT, it is definitely appropriately named ChatGPT because all it wants to do is engage you in endless conversation, ask you a million questions about the question that you just asked it. But getting back on topic here, when you're looking at things, there's only so many things that we can pinpoint exactly. The data in the MLS, which goes out to Zillow, Homes.com, Trulia, Redfin, blah, 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 all the different portals in the world, it's only as good as the agent that put it in. So we just have to be careful with the way we search. We got to look outside the box, look for off-market properties. And that's what your real estate professional can do. They can help keep you grounded and help keep your search on target. When we go into a house, I know what it is that you want. I've taken the notes. I know that you want 3 bedrooms and 2 baths, and they both have to be full baths. Anything more than that, I know one of them has to be a tub. I know that one of those bathrooms needs to be in the owner's suite. I know that you'd like to have the kids on the same floor as you. All of these things that, we've already gone over this stuff. And so now you've got 4 extra eyes looking for you when we're in the house. And I already know if this house checks your boxes. So let's look at the area. Let's look at the condition of the house. Let's look at how many boxes it checked. We're never going to get everything that we want. Even if you're spending $1 million, you're never going to get everything you want. But are we getting most of the things you want? Is this the best house that fits your needs right now? Okay. Is it the best thing for your life right now? Okay. Regret can quietly build over closing if you're not taking these decisions. Okay. Post-decision doubt. Did I overpay? Regret. It's often emotional, not logical. Okay. Being prepared keeps you from going into this crazy spiral where you just, are unsure about things and everything. I just met with a couple that we helped buy a house 2 years ago. It was a house they could afford. It was a house they wanted. It checked their boxes, this, that, the other. About 2 years later, not right away, but 2 years later, they started questioning things. They started looking at this and how much could they pay and stuff like that. It wasn't a question of the house. It was a question of the budget. We just needed to refocus on the budget and get it reprioritized. That's okay. So we just need to make sure that we've really focused on the right things so that when you move in a house, it'll be a success story. All right. How professionals like myself keep you on the right path, slowing up the right moments. If we go into a house and you hate the house, you're like, oh, this is terrible. And you're like, I just want to run upstairs and see if I like the bedrooms. I'm like, is going upstairs and liking those bedrooms going to make you like this terrible first floor? Sure, run up those steps and get yourself, an extra couple of steps in your day, because it's not going to change things. It's not going to change the fact that you hate the kitchen or this or that or the other. Okay. So we're going to slow down those moments. When we get into the house that you do like, we're going to go back through, we're going to compare it to the other houses. And when we get to the end of the day and you like house number 3, I want you to go back and look at all the houses that are in your list and compare house number 3 to this house, this house, this house, this house. If any of these houses stack up to house number 3, we need to go see that house before we make a decision on house number 3. Okay. I'm going to ask you guys a lot of questions, a lot of questions. Where does your family live? Where is your job? How much do you make? How much disposable income do you have? How comfortable would you be for this or that or the other? Is there anybody like asking you a ton of personal questions? It helps us to make sure that we keep you on the right track. We're helping you make the decision, but not pushing you. I'm not going to push you in the decision. The only decision that I want you to make definitively is that you're going to use me as your agent, and the house is going to be something that you're going to decide on later. Okay. Final takeaways. What are some things that we've learned here? Regret is not caused by the market. Regret is usually caused by you making a mistake about one of those 3 things that came through. Okay. It's caused by unclear, not purpose driven decisions. Okay. The best outcome that you can get is peace of mind, is knowing that you got yourself a great place. It's going to take care of you. You're going to take care of it. You're going to be able to take care of it. And it's not perfection. We're not looking for perfection, especially if it's your first house. We are definitely not looking for perfection. What we're looking for is what's the best thing that you can buy given all the conditions that exist right now. Waiting 6 months, not a good option. Waiting until you can save $6,000 more. Well, if you have 0, then maybe, but no, waiting. I'm waiting for this. These are just things that you talk yourself into, and then you're going to end up regretting it later. Met with a driver, a FedEx driver, really nice young man, went on the Dave Ramsey program and found out information, got connected with us. His boss talked to him. It's a really good decision. You should do this, coached him and everything. And then this was 2021, came into the office, we met, signed the agreement, and he started listening to people. And about a month after we met, he was convinced that the market was going to tank 4 years ago. And he's missed out on 20 to probably closer to 25% of equity that he could have in a house at this point and stuff. So for clear, pressure-free real estate guidance that helps you avoid regret, follow us, call me. Let's have a sit down and talk about your specifics so we can make sure that we're getting you into something that really works for you and is going to make you happy. All right. Follow us, subscribe, and tune in for more. Thanks.